Hi, Kate here from the Safeguarding Academy and welcome to this week's 5-minute masterclass. This week we're looking at the prevent duty and specifically we're just going to look at what it is. The duty has been around for quite some time in terms of its concept, but it is a difficult issue for lots of people to get their heads around, and I know many of you struggle with what the duty is, how it fits into your working life, what you actually have to do. And that can be quite difficult and quite daunting for you to understand and then actually feel like you're doing correctly. So over the next few masterclasses, we're going to have a look at the prevent duty and give you that opportunity to just learn a bit more within these 5-minute segments. If you want to know more, then there is going to be an online course that you can take that will take you through the prevent duty so that you have a better understanding of what that is, how it operates, and what your role is within it. So what is the prevent duty? Well, the prevent duty came about following the 7/7 attacks, and those were the attacks that took place in London not long after 9/11 in New York. And the government was really concerned about young people being radicalised into acts of terrorism. As a result of that concern, the government took steps to bring into being guidance and legislation that set out requirements that those working with young people needed to follow. And the purpose of that was to prevent people, young people particularly, from being radicalised. And by that I mean preventing them from becoming of a view that was very, very extreme and of a view that led them into routes of terrorism, into acts of terrorism, which can include conducting the act of terrorism or being involved in the act of terrorism. And if you think back to a lot of the attacks which have taken place, many of them have happened by those who've been radicalised but are potentially British by birth or certainly have spent some considerable time within this country. That's not true for all of them, but it is true for a large proportion of attackers. And so the government's purpose around prevent was to get educational organisations to really stop that from happening. And the prevent duty came about in an Act of Parliament, the Counter-Terrorism Act in 2015. And that act is the act that's placed a specific duty on those working within education to follow the prevent duty. And that means that those working within those sectors have a responsibility, they have a legal duty to act when they take the view that a young person is being radicalised into a political affiliation, religious affiliation, whatever it may be, that could lead them down the road of committing acts of terror. And that's what the duty is. It's taking steps to do something about the information you have in order to prevent somebody from being radicalised into acts of terror. As I say, there is an online course which you can learn more about this duty. For now, that's the purpose behind prevent, and we'll learn more as the weeks go on in relation to prevent. So until next week, thank you very much.